Assalamualaikum and good evening, Miss Nurfatin and my fellow classmates. Today we are going to present our project for the ESS 10103 Creative Thinking course. Hello, Assalamualaikum everyone. Today I would like to present my poster on Amabel's componential model of creativity. This theory was developed by Teresa M. Amabel in 1983. She believed that creativity is not only based on natural talent. Instead, creativity can be developed when several important components work together. At the center of my poster, I include the main idea of this theory, which is that creativity happens when skill, creative thinking, and are combined. People are more likely to produce ideas that are original and useful. The next section focuses on the three main components. First is domain relevant skills. This refers to the knowledge, experience, and technical skill that a person has. For example, a teacher with strong English knowledge can design more engaging lesson for students. The second component is creative relevant process. These are the thinking skill that encourage people to solve problems, generate new ideas, and try different approaches. An example is using role play or video project to help students learn English creatively. The final component is intrinsic motivation. This means doing something because it is enjoyable or meaningful rather than simply to get rewards. For example, a student writes stories because they genuinely enjoy writing. At the bottom of my poster, I include the real life application of this theory. Teachers can use storytelling, discussion, games, and project based learning to encourage students to think creatively while staying motivated throughout the learning process. Lastly, I share my reflection. I choose this theory because it shows that creativity is something everyone can develop. As a future TESOL teacher, I hope to create a classroom where students feel confident, enjoy learning English, and are encouraged to express their own creative ideas. That's all from my presentation. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. Today I'm going to present the theory called divergent and convergent thinking by Joy Paul Guilford. First, about the theory. This theory explains that creative thinking involves two connected processes. The first process is divergent thinking, where we generate many different ideas without worrying whether they are right or wrong. The second process is convergent thinking, where we evaluate those ideas carefully and choose the best solution. So next are the main principle. Divergent thinking the encourage creativity, imagination, and exploring different possibility. On the other hand, convergent thinking use a logical and critical thinking to compare idea and select the most suitable one. Both processes are important because they work together to solve problem effectively. Now, how does theory explain the creative thinking? Creative thinking begins with generating many ideas through divergent thinking. After that, convergent thinking help us analyze and evaluate those ideas before making the final decisions. The combination allows people to think creatively while also making a practical and well-reasoned choice. For the real life example, imagine a school want to reduce a plastic waste. Using a divergent thinking, students may suggest ideas such as organizing a recycle campaign, creating errands poster, or encouraging reusable water bottles. Then, through the convergent thinking, They compare the advantages and disadvantages of each idea and decide that organizing a school recycling campaign is the most practical solution. The benefit of this theory are that it encourages creative and innovation, develop a critical thinking and problem solving skill, and lastly, improve decision making and collaboration. Next, the key takeaway is that great idea begin with the best solution come from a careful thinking and wise choice. Finally, for my reflection for this theory is I believe this theory is the most useful because it combines a creativity with a logical thinking. It also encourages individuals to generate a variety of ideas before carefully evaluating and selecting the best solution. That's all from me. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Rima and Asha. So for my theory, I will do my poster, which is the 4C model of creativity by Kaufman and Ghetto, 2009. So firstly, I read about the theory that it has four C's. The first C is the mini C, which is transformative learning. It's about novel and personally meaningful insights. For example, a student's unique insight during a discussion. For the second C is the little c, which is for everyday creativity. So it is originality in everyday life and work. So for example, designing a unique marketing campaign for a local business. And then there's pro C, which is for professional creativity. It is significant contributions to field over time. And for example, a successful artist's innovative technique. For the last C is the big C, which is legendary creativity. So it's an outstanding achievements with global impacts. For example, Steve Jobs' innovation with Apple. So how does it explain creative thinking? It recognizes and values types of creative expressions, and it also emphasizes the developmental nature of creativity. And for the challenge of this theory is that modernizing the classroom environment to encourage diverse student participation and innovation. So for the approach of this theory is that it implement project-based learning, encourage mini-C ideas, support little C creativity, design projects that progress to proceed. So for my reflection on this theory is that I find the 4C model highly useful because it provides a comprehensive framework that recognizes creativity in all forms and at all stages, making it applicable and valuable across education, business, and daily life. So that's all from me and from us. Thank you.